I had a couple friends ask me about how I make my yakisoba after last night's post, so I thought I'd just do a brief little cover of how I do that. This is all the stuff you're going to need. You have your pan. Make sure you got a cover. I think that's important to help retain the moisture and help loosen stuff up. You get whatever brand of yakisoba you want. I've got a couple brands here from this company, Myojo. This is curry flavor, which is good. I like it. This is my favorite, though. It says Oriental flavor. I don't really think it tastes Oriental. It just tastes like salt and pepper. It's really nice flavor, but really good. That's the one I use. And this is Brandon's favorite, or Dyer, Elko Wolf, if you know him as that. Shio flavor. This is kind of a chicken type flavor. And with any of these, it's always going to come with this little packet of seasoning, which is dry, just like you'd get in a ramen, honestly. And then these guys, these are not dry like ramen. It's actually moist, fresh noodles that you just have to loosen and break apart. And that's where you use some of this other stuff. You'll be using a little bit of the oil to help saute your onions, and also with the noodles itself, the yakisoba. The Pam here is for the egg that I cook and put on last. I have some nice smoky bacon that I get from the local meat market. I have my chopper for my onions. I use sake to loosen up my noodles. I jokingly call it drunken yakisoba, but you know, it's not an uncommon thing to use sake to actually break these guys up. It says to use water on the back of the packet. I personally like sake. I use some little kitchen cutters to cut up my bacon in the small little chunks that I like. Use my chopsticks to stir up and break apart the yakisoba, as well as, obviously, your spatula. So let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit here. All right, we skipped ahead a little bit here. Basically just chopped up my onions, chopped up my smoked bacon, got everything all separated. I got the powder ready to go. I got my noodles there. Let's go ahead and turn this on. We'll put it around medium. I'm going to go ahead and open up my vegetable oil, which in this case I got soybean oil. You can use peanut oil or whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. Just a small amount of oil in there, not much, covering the bottom of the pan. Toss your onions in. That's all of it. And then you're just going to go ahead and stir these guys around for a little bit, get them nice and sauteed. And when those are done, you'll see it because I'm going to advance forward here. Okay. After you have finished getting your onions a little bit browned, I'm going to go ahead and get that all set up and move it aside to your plate, and then we're going to go ahead and start cooking our yakisoba. Okay, we have our onions over here to the side, and now we got our yakisoba in here. We're going to go ahead and open up our cheap sake. You can find this for about $5 in most stores. Sake is going to help deglaze a little bit of that onion and oil that you had on there. And I've got this down on low, which you can see here. And basically, you're going to cover this and you're going to flip it a couple times while covered, retaining the sake in there to just go ahead and break up those noodles a bit. The package actually calls for you to use water, but I don't know. The sake gives a nice flavor to the noodles, in my opinion, so that's what I use. I saw that mentioned a couple places online. I decided to try it, and I really liked it. So, yeah, just keep us down here on low for a little bit. Get your noodles a little bit broken up. Like I said, after this is cooked a little, the sake is going to boil off a little bit. You'll flip it over to try and get the other side pretty good, and you're basically just loosening up these noodles so they'll fall apart before we add in the bacon and go to the next step. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to that part where we start adding the bacon after these are broken up, and you'll see that. Okay, at this point, you can see I've got my noodles already broken up. I was just basically using chopsticks to stir them around gently and get everything all broken up and separated. You can see most of the sake is already boiled off. I'm going to go ahead and take my bacon, toss that bad boy right in there. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and throw my onions in too. If you want them crispy, you can keep them, out a little bit longer so they've got a little bit more crunch to them. I like mine nice and soft, and they're going to saute a little bit more in this as long as it cooks up. I'm also going to add another small portion of the oil here. It's a little hard for me to add one-handed the onions in because they're not all going to slide off the plate. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in here, and then we'll continue forward. All right, at this point you can see I've got my onions all added in here, my bacon, along with the yakisoba, obviously. You just gently kind of stir things around every couple seconds to go, get that bacon kind of heated up and cooked along the edges. And you're like, wait a second, that bacon's like raw. How are you going to Are you going to leave it like that? Are you going to cook it more? And the answer is yes. What I'm going to do is, now that this stuff is all kind of like a little bit lightly cooked, I'm going to go ahead and throw some more sake on there. And then stir it up more, cover it with a lid for a bit to let everything cook a little bit. Stir it, cover, uncover. And then I'm going to add my seasoning powder and then mix everything together. And that's really quick. And then I move it to the side. You're going to see that in just a sec here. Okay, a little bit more sake. Let's get this junkin'. Got that all added in nice. And stir everything. Get all the bacon down to the bottom so it can cook. And everything sounds good. Got it all down there. Looks nice. Cover that up. And then I'm just going to keep looking through here. I'll stir it, cover it, stir it, cover it. Only takes like literally a minute or two. And just do it to taste. My husband actually likes the yakisoba a little bit more crunchy. I like it a little bit more soft. Do it to your taste. It's cooking. You know, it's how you like it. There's no one set way. Anyways, we'll get to the next step in a second, or I'll go ahead and add the seasoning. Okay, so I have stirred and rotated this a couple times, cooked it, kept the lid on. You can see it's still nice and moist. Now I'm going to take that little dry seasoning packet, just kind of gently sprinkle it all over everything. Super easy, right? And like I said, this is my favorite flavor. It's just like salt and pepper, and it goes really, really well with the bacon. If you need a little bit more sake to loosen up that powder so it coats everything, all your noodles and your onions and your bacon, then please, by all means, go ahead. I did turn up the temperature a little bit. I'm around medium now. So that's just to help cook things a little bit faster. You can take it slower. You can even cook it quicker, but you're going to have to be a little bit more sensitive to looking at it, making sure everything is appropriate. But you can see this is all nicely mixed up now. It's got the powder all distributed through everything. I'm going to go ahead and get this plated, and then we'll just cook our egg really fast, and then put the egg on top. That's it. It's done. Okay, we got our yakisoba all plated over there. Now all you got to do is the very last part, which is do your egg. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of Pam down on your grill, or on your pan, I should say. And then take your egg. Get that going there. Cheap egg! Broke in the middle from my yolk. I personally like a very nice, beautiful yolk. Anyhow, everybody should know how to cook an egg. If you don't know how to cook an egg, you need to watch another video. But I'll just lightly cook this guy on both sides, toss it on the end, and show you the final product.